Hello YouTube, Jovan here from Imperfect Creations Homestead in Zone 6, Virginia. Welcome back to the kitchen once again, everybody. If you're new to my channel, welcome. We have you in the kitchen with us today instead of the garden because we're using things that we've grown in the garden to make some food that we need or that we at least like to eat. So welcome. We hope you pick up something, see something, hear something that might help you in your gardening or homesteading journey. If you're a return viewer, then you already know I'm about to get into some foolery today. Welcome back. Thank you for your support, your encouragement, your comments. Thank you for hitting that like button. Listen, come on in this kitchen. I'm making Ro-Tel today. Not the dip. Y'all so greedy. Me too. I want some dip. And I might make some after this is over. No, I'm making the canned Ro-Tel tomato. The diced tomatoes and the chilies that's almost $2 a can now in most stores. That's right. I want to give a shout out to Ruth Ann Zimmerman. She has a YouTube channel where she shares from her family's knowledge of old order Mennonite living. They have a farm out in, I believe, Idaho, if I'm not mistaken, but it's Iowa. Many said Iowa. It's one of those. It's far out west. But she showed me something recently, and so I'm going to try it today. So I've been harvesting the tomatoes from our garden. Look at these beautiful tomatoes, y'all. We grew those. These are Roma and San Marzano tomatoes. I bought a tomato corer last year, but I couldn't tell you where it is. So I just used my little paring knife to get the core out of it. It's not much in these paste tomatoes, but I took out what there was. And then I've also been harvesting jalapenos, and these are all I could catch that were still green. There's a little red on there. I got a lot of jalapenos, but they keep turning red. And for the contrast, I wanted green. You could easily use red, but it's just going to be a jar full of red instead of red and green, like we like seeing. So I have cored my tomatoes, and now I'm about to de-seed my peppers, and I'll bring you back when I'm done with that and show you what I'll do next. All right? Sit tight. And just in case we have anyone who is new to canning, I am doing what's called water bath canning today. I'm going to show you what I'm doing to my peppers. I am taking a spoon and just digging out all the seeds. I don't want spicy Ro-Tel because my little one can only take so much spice. Now she likes a good sweet hot sauce, but she doesn't like the level of heat that I like. So let me just show you. I took my jalapeno. Put the spoon down, Jack. Put the spoon down. I cut the top off. I nipped a little bit off the bottom. I cut it in half. And then I took my spoon and just dug the seeds out. That's it. That's all you got to do. All right. I'll bring you back in a few minutes. All right, YouTube. Welcome back. I have sliced and de-seeded all of my jalapenos, and I think I have quite a I say I got enough here for a few jars. I don't know if it's going to be 5 or 6 jars. I doubt it's going to be all 12, but I'm going to use what I got. So here's what my tomatoes and my peppers look like. And again, I just cored the tomatoes, sliced and de-seeded my jalapenos. So I'm going to transfer these to a bowl because I want to be able to drain them in this strainer. I only got one of these. Transfer that to a bowl. And now I'm going to use my chopper. Slice my tomatoes in half. Bring y'all a little closer. I'm going to slice my tomatoes in half. And just like that, diced tomatoes. I'm going to get these going. I ain't going to make y'all watch all of this, but I did want to show you just one or two in case you were wondering how this was going to work out. This is the attachment that I love to use when I'm dicing peppers, onions, garlic for a mixture. And again, I'm just loading my jalapenos on there and chop. So I'll finish this and I'll bring y'all back. All right? Stick around. Just like that, I have a basket full of Ro-Tel. Y'all, if I had known it was that easy. Look at that. That's at least $4 worth of Ro-Tel in there. Let me get this added to my basket. This is where I have them draining so that I don't have so much liquid in my jar. It's gonna be quite a good amount in there. Y'all know I'm greedy. I want it all. I need all my tomatoes and peppers. All right, I ain't gonna act like that. All right, and it's chopped. Just add it to my basket. I'm going to add citric acid. But yeah, I'm just moving it around a little bit to get some of that excess liquid out. And we got Ro-Tel, y'all. It's draining quite a bit. Now I have already cleaned my 8-ounce jars. Those are half pints for those that are new to canning. Standard size jars are, I believe, pint and quart. But because this is Ro-Tel, I'm using a smaller size jar. This is a half pint or a jelly jar, I think they're sometimes referred to, because you normally see jams and jellies made in these. They're going to hold Ro-Tel today. So let's get to it. Let's fill these jars. And I know she said this will shrink, so I'm going to fill this almost to the top. I'm not going to look at any kind of headspace because it will shrink. I'm just going to go right to the bottom of my, I guess, ring line. That's what I'm going to do to all my jars. So I'll get these filled, and then I'll bring y'all back and let you see how many jars I was able to fill with our homemade Ro-Tel mixture. And we'll add our citric acid. This is cold packed, so these jars are not hot. My canner is not hot. It just has cool room temperature water in it because it's cool in the room today. It's cold outside. So I'll get these filled and I'll bring y'all back. Hang tight. Hi YouTube, welcome back. I was able to fill 5 half-pint jars with my Ro-Tel tomato mixture. So now I'm going to take paper towel dipped in vinegar, and I'm going to clean my rims up really good because I need a good I need a good tight seal on these jars. So I'm just going to go around with my paper towel dipped in vinegar and make sure that I've got everything cleaned off so that I get a really good tight seal. I was not neat at all. I did not use a funnel when I fill these. I try to be neat and clean when I'm canning, but this was a messy mixture, and so I just got it on in the jars. And now I am cleaning them up so I can get them sealed up. Make sure I got everything. And now I can take these gloves off and I can add my citric acid and my sea salt. So the recommendation, well, I don't know if it's quite a recommendation, but this is what I saw Mrs. Zimmerman do? She added 1/8 teaspoon of citric acid. So that's what I'm going to add to each jar. And the amount depends on the size of your jar. I have 1/2 pint, 8-ounce jars. So I'm doing 1/8 of a teaspoon of citric acid in each. And because I want to make certain it at least has some help in the flavor department, I'm going to add half that much of salt. So I'm going to do half in one jar, half in the other. So 1/16. There we go. That's sea salt, citric acid in each jar. Move my vinegar out of the way. I've already cleaned my lids. Got my canning tools ready. All right. Again, just fingertip tight. All right, I got my 5 jars of diced tomatoes and chilies, aka Ro-Tel tomato. I'm gonna get them into my canner. My canner is cold. And because I'm extra, I'm going to find something else I can can with this. So y'all sit tight. All right, YouTube. Crisis averted. So I did a little research while I had y'all paused. Because I have so much space in my canner, my concern was that my product would not process correctly. So I did a little research and I found that you can can water to make up the space in your canner. That way everything has processed correctly. And here come Mini-Me, who was supposed to be up there finding something for me that I left upstairs. But this is what she brought me, y'all.
I made it.
She is so like her mama. She will squirrel on you in a New York second and then go off and be creative. So I squirreled a little bit, but I figured out how to finish filling up my canner. So I have 5 half-pint jars of our Ro-Tel tomato, and to that I'm going to add 2 1.5-pint jars of water with used lids and some rings. And that's going to make up the rest of the space in my canner, so my jars will behave, meaning they won't rattle around so much. I might have to add a 3rd jar, y'all, but I'm okay with that. And then we're going to get to canning. All right? I'll bring y'all back in just a minute. All right, so here's how it's looking. I've got my 5 jars of Ro-Tel, 2 1.5-pint jars of water, and a pint-sized jar of water. And that has made up the excess space in my canner so that things won't rattle around too much. All right, I'm going to get my lid on. I'm going to get this up to a boil, and then I'm going to process for 30 minutes. I'll refer back to her video. And I did just want to clarify something. She added a 1/4 teaspoon of salt to each of her jars. I don't believe it was to change anything about the acidity or preserve it. I chose to use less sodium because I'm a less sodium type of person. High blood pressure runs in my family. I don't have it and I don't want it. So I showed you how much salt I put in mine, but I did put the correct amount of citric acid in each container. And so I'm going to get my lid on, get these up to a boil, and I'm going to process them for 30 minutes. And I'll bring y'all back when we're done. All right. See y'all later.
Good morning, YouTube. It is the next morning. It's not early, but we try to sleep in when and where we can. And I just wanted to bring y'all back and show you that I have removed the rings from all of my jars of Ro-Tel. I have cleaned them up. I just take running water and a clean dishcloth and wipe the tops, bottom, side. Just make sure I get any residue off that may have clung to the jars during the canning process. But all 5 jars of our home canned Ro-Tel tomato mix have sealed. And you see they did shrink just a little bit, but it looks good, y'all. That's 5 jars that I don't have to buy. I hope you enjoyed this project. I hope you'll come back to my kitchen to spend more time with Mini-Me and I as we preserve our harvest from this year's garden. I've just put up bag number 5 of tomatoes from the garden. That's 5 gallon-sized bags that are now in the freezer, and we're still collecting more. This is what we have on our countertop right now. Some sweet peppers, a few more tomatoes, hot peppers, ranging from Pasilla Bajío to poblano or ancho grande. These are red jalapenos. These are some Hungarian yellow wax, and then we got various shishito and one little lonely red habanero. So yeah, the garden is still doing really well as far as harvest. I've got another basket here that I harvested between Thursday and yesterday. I'm gonna get those cleaned up and put away. I'm done making hot sauce. I'm done making sriracha for now. So I'm just going to get those cleaned up and frozen for later use. And I've already dried quite a few, so I don't need any more powder right now. And last but not least, I'll be back out in the garden later today just to sit and enjoy what the garden has going on. But I have cleaned up the patio. I've cleaned up the grapevine. You'll notice that that's naked over there. Cleaned up the pots and things that I had sitting on the patio seat. I have taken the green stalks apart, removed old plants, fluffed my soil, added compost and fertilizer, and topped off the soil if I needed to, watered them in really well, dropped some more seeds, as I also encouraged you all to do. It's looking a little raggedy in the back of the garden, but hey, it's fall. That's what it's supposed to look like in transition. Still got things here on the table. If you notice, I've put pots into trays. We're about to get some good rain, so I want to make sure they get a really good bottom water. Cleaning up the greenhouse, getting things, cleaned up for fall and winter. But I'll bring y'all back later today when I'm outside and show you what all is going on in the larger garden. So from our family to yours, from our heart to yours, God bless. And we'll see y'all in just a few. Bye-bye.